Hello everyone, welcome to this video explaining how to create pixel art if you're a non-artist like myself. So on the screen now you will see the process we'll go through in this video. So it's going from AI generated stencils all the way to a finished polished sprite. Stay tuned for more detail and don't forget to check out boneheadlabs.org and Appleman Sam. Thank you. So, if you're anything like me, you cannot draw at all. Yep, that's right. Art is out of the realm of possibility for us. It's okay. We'll get through. We'll survive. We can have fun with it, but when making a game, artwork is important, of course. So, what options do we have as developers that, we want to get our game out there? We want to make our dream, but we can't draw. We don't have the means to deliver what we want to express to the world. So we have a few options. One, spend a few years getting really good at drawing and still possibly falling short of your goals. Two, pay someone that is an artist, which is a great option if you have money. Or three is what I'm going to show you today, which is get some fundamental drawing skills through the power of AI, generate sort of basic stencils, and use those fundamental drawing skills to create a sprite that is to your liking. So on the screen here is the new and improved sprite for Appleman Sam. This is what the base sprite inspiration will be, and all the animations will be made and come from this. And I'm going to go through the process of what I've done for this sprite, for the enemies. So we've got the carrot enemy and the broccoli enemy. These are These are new and improved versions of the demo or the beta version of the Appleman Sam sprites. So this is what Appleman Sam looked like originally. It's a 16 by 16 scale, so we've improved that up. So I'm going to show you how to make these much more high quality pixel art pieces using a couple of tools if you're not much of an artist like myself. So step one is get an AI that is very nice to you. You can see it's not really my name, but it's funny. So you get ChatGPT image generation is a good one. Gemini is an alternative. You want to start off with this approach. So the step one is to clearly visualize what you want to make. The more simplistic, the better, because we're going to tweak what this comes out with. It's not going to give you exactly what you want. That's the bottom line. The AI is not there yet. So what we'll do here is let's do something basic. Let's do generate a pixel art sprite in a 128 by 128 scale of a sentient watermelon. Give him scary eyes and a mustache. And let's take that prompt and chuck it into Gemini as well. So Gemini's got Nano Banana now. It's pretty fast and rapid, but I think there's a compromise there of the quality of your initial output. But let's have a look. Yeah, so look at that. That kind of looks crap. It's all right, but it's still better than what I would draw. But crap. I prefer ChatGPT for this initial call it stencil. I call this a stencil because we have to change the colors. There's a couple of issues that happen there. Yeah, so that's okay. They took the same approach, but let's go. I'd add a follow-up prompt. It's give this character some limbs and ensure the picture is clear using minimal colors. Make the background a solid white color. You can ask for a transparent background too, but I've been experiencing some bugs with that. It tends to make a few of the elements of the actual sprite transparent too. So solid color is pretty easy to cut out, but we're most likely going to have to scan and delete sections of the background to make it just the sprite. But let's see how that goes. So this takes a little while. But what will take longer? Learning how to draw, talking to an artist, back and forth, earning the money to pay them. Compromise. This may look way worse than any of those outputs, but it's faster, and it'll be, I'd say, 80% as good. It'll be 110% better than anything I can draw, that's for sure. Yep, there we go. That's much more in the style of what we're looking for. You can see it looks decent already, right? So if we take this, you'll notice when we expand it out, whoops, it's a bit of a subtle issue. You probably can't tell in the video actually, but each of these pixels are not really individual pixels like would be drawn in a tool like Aseprite or Libre Sprite. That's the same thing, but these are the AI generating pixels of what looks like pixels using just the colors. If you zoomed in far enough, perhaps I can't zoom in far enough, but you'll notice that these aren't perfect squares. They're not really pixels. So the next step is to take this stencil, put it into your software, which would be, if you want a free version of Aseprite, you go to Libre Sprite. I used to use that until a friend was kind enough to give me an Aseprite key, so I may as well use this. But Libre Sprite is, from my experience, just as good. So let's create a new file in the scale that we asked for, which is 128 by 128. Control V, image goes off the screen. So click this, hold Shift, and we go all the way down to the actual scale. So look at that, done. Not done necessarily, but it's very close. Check that out. So it's pretty good detail. It's in the right scale. The pixels, because these tools are so fantastic, Aseprite and Libre Sprite, you just shrinking it down gives you now actual pixels here. But you'll notice, if you zoom in enough onto a single color, you'll notice there's a few versions of the green here. It's not just a solid green. So if you looked at the original, these kind of look like the same color, right? This is just a result of scaling down that image and whatever back-end computational work takes place, it thinks that these colors are technically different. And if you zoom out far enough, it's hard to tell. But yes, this would be something I would clean up to make the sprites look a bit better. So if we go here to Appleman Sam, you'll see that this shade here is one uniform color, and then you've got the dark shadow color, call it that, and then the highlight color up here. So I've got simple 3-color setup for Appleman Sam, and that looks pretty good. But for an apple, it's a bit less detail required. Let's have a look at the broccoli, for example. The broccoli was a fair amount more work to get to a few colors. So here we've got at least 4 greens, and up here I'd say up over 4, and you can see there's still some artifacts here left over from my initial generation. So I did this exact same process with the broccoli, and then did a bit of a recoloring effort here to make it look much better. So as you can see, this is what I originally got from AI. So you can see this one actually doesn't look very good compared to what we just got. We got a really nice one with the watermelon, but the coloring here, it's very blurry. When I brought it across, it was a bit better, but it didn't really fit the vibe of the game. So the next step is the recoloring process. So let's go back to our watermelon. The easy way to get rid of the background now is the magic wand selector. Oh, sorry, it's not that easy. Like the colors on the sprite, the scaling of white to white is not perfect either. I don't think there's multiple whites here, but there's another way you can do this. I am not good at this software. Look me in the eye. I can make really basic animations with these cute characters, but hotkeys and nope, that's not in my brain yet. But I could use it good enough to make some cool stuff. And I learnt this the other day. Select the color you want. You go replace color, and then we replace it to transparent. Yeah, nice. And the tolerance, I bumped up the tolerance, so it gets there you go. So it gets the similar whites there. You can see, it's removing some in the middle there, but that's okay. Let's just go to like, I don't know, 15. Yeah, that'll do. Done. Look at that. We've got a sprite, guys. It's that easy. We don't have to be artists. We just need to pay $30 a month for ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure the free version can make image generation up to a certain limit as well. You just be careful with what you ask for and keep using it until you get your output. But look at that. We've got a water balance sprite, mate. It looks pretty good. What a Gemini. Yeah, this is ugly. This looks crap. Can you make it more of a character with limbs and more retro? I'm just doing this to see if Gemini can give us a good output, and that is almost I'm pretty sure this is completely free because I'm not paying for it, and you can generate a fair amount of images here. Oh, what the fruitcake is this, mate? What the flip? What the flip? Yeah, that looks a bit weird. I don't like it. But you know, you might think that looks pretty good. You can do the same thing, bring it across, recolor it. I don't think it fits my vibe. I think ChatGPT does a better job. So let's look at recoloring. We can do that same strategy we did with the background, except it's a bit trickier depending on the selection of colors here. Actually, this might be okay. Let's have a look. So let's go replace color. So we want to replace that green with another green on the color palette I've got. Let's say this one. That's pretty easy. And we just bump up that tolerance level there. Yeah, you can see it, how it's if you go too high, so this is 0, right? We're not replacing anything. If we go up to too far, it'll replace the other greens that we don't want to replace. So the actual different shades. I think that's a good one here. Bang. So we do that. Let's do the same with the reds. So you go replace color, which is, it says Shift R. If you want to remember that, go for it. And I don't think this palette has oh, it does have a red. That's not really red. Yeah, this is a deep red, but that'll do. If we replace a bit more, it'll get rid of some of that shading, but that's okay. I think if you zoom out right and it's a game sprite, this looks pretty. I think this looks really good. That extra shading makes it probably maybe too detailed, depending on the game you're going for. Let's do the dark green next. Oh god. Let's find. This palette does not have a lot of colors. I don't know what palette I've got loaded. If it's the default or not, but let's just do it ourselves, mate. What the hell's going on here? I think the tolerance is too high. Let's go to here. Let's make the tolerance like 3 and make this, I don't know, like that. That looks pretty good. Done. So that's done a lot of the work. This last green shade here, let's do that. The details of like the eyes and stuff, you can see the pupils aren't symmetrical. There's a bit of white here. So I'd probably go in and totally do this from scratch. So maybe give this like, the eye color here is all right. Let's just draw over what it has here. Let's pick one of these deeper colors. Override these shadings. See the process here. You take what the AI has given you and use that. We all did tracing when we were children. You trace over. We all did coloring books. We're finally using those skills, everyone. We are finally becoming what we were born to be. Yeah, look at this. It's turned into a real character, mate. Yeah. All right, now you have a sprite. I'd go in and clean up these details more. So by hand, you can see the carrot here needed that level of detail. So I went in. It's not a perfect job. You see, I missed a few here. But like if you zoom it out, I captured the details. I just picked 3 to 4 shades and just colored over that. And up here especially, it was way different. And the broccoli, you can literally see the difference here. Added a cool purple outline to match the sort of neon vibe we got going on, change the shading and highlights and shadows of the mustache and the eyes, completely different color. So that sort of stuff you can do, but you can very clearly see the two shapes, the stencils are the same. So we stencil with AI, we recolor, ideally with a color palette. It can be tricky to work within the limits of that from what you've been given. It's hard to plan. If we could draw, if we were great drawers, we'd draw with the color palette in mind, but we work with what we've got. I've tried to embed the color palette I've selected here, but I've added a few more greens for detail. So this guy here is not fitting that color palette, so he's not going to go into Appleman Sam, but he's for your viewing pleasure. Using AI, Aseprite, Libre Sprite, for game developers who aren't artists. That's how you get something that looks like this. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe for more details on Appleman Sam as we're releasing more updates and getting that game into a better state. You can play the prototype demo that's on itch.io. Check out boneheadlabs.org to get the link to that. Yep, thank you. Enjoy making your pixel art.